Hey, it's the Mido Show.
Hey,
it's the Mido Show.
Boom. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Mido Show. This episode, we got my Grandpa Leo back on. Pretty much back by popular demand. Everybody's been asking me, where's Grandpa Leo? What's going on with Grandpa Leo? So we're about to check in with Grandpa Leo right now. But before we do that, I just want to say, recently we've been going through a lot of loss in our lifetime. Both of us personally, we lost my grandma about a little over a year ago. We lost my dad last year, and my Nina last year. And then, of course, the world just had this big shock last week where we all lost Kobe Bryant. And that was something where it was weird because nobody that I knew really knew him personally. But so many people that I knew were affected by him and the type of person that he was and stuff. And so many people in our lives have come and gone and stuff. And my Grandpa Leo, he's 91, well, going to be 91 years old this year. And I thought, you know what, I need to take this time to sit down and talk with him and get as much information and learn from him as much as I can because one day he's not going to be here and I'm going to miss these moments and this time. And my grandma, she always wanted to be on the podcast. I never got a chance to get her on. And I had always hoped to get my dad on the podcast. And, of course, somebody like Kobe Bryant would be somebody cool to talk to and stuff like that. And so many people wanted to talk to him and get to this point and didn't have the opportunity to. So, just live each day and try to seize the moment when you can and enjoy those moments. So, without further ado, with that, we got Grandpa Leo here. Grandpa Leo, how you doing?
I'm doing okay, thank you.
All right. One thing I want to ask you, Grandpa, about all this going on and stuff is, in your 90 years of living and stuff, what is like the most important thing or the one piece of advice that you can give somebody, or what can you say about life?
Well, for my part, just do whatever it takes and keep on going straight. Don't mess up.
Yeah, and another solid thing too, and one big point that kind of comes with all the people that I mentioned before, my grandma, my dad, my aunt, my mom and Nina, and Kobe Bryant, is they're very family oriented people. We've always been very family oriented. We take care of our family. We appreciate the people that we have in our lives, and we come from big families and stuff. It's like growing up, we always knew our cousins and stuff. We have so many different cousins and uncles and aunts and all these people that we have relationships with, and we know because we spent so much time with them, and because we would go over to their house for Christmas or Thanksgiving or different things, and now we're all like really close together. There's so much of us, and I feel like a lot of people don't really have what we have. And even you too, because your family before you met Grandma wasn't really like that, huh? You guys were kind of more disconnected on your side of the family,
Right.
So what's the story with that? Because I know at your 90th birthday we had your sister there and her side of the family.
Yeah, well, we still keep on hanging around with them, like keep them close to me, and we've been like this for years, so might as well, no reason to change it, really.
Mm-hmm.
Just do the best we can while we're here.
Yeah. What else? What other things did you want to talk about and touch on? What like stories or things that you have about life or growing up or about the family or anything like that? Like what would you like to share with people?
Well, the only thing I like to share with them that I didn't even go to school, and I got a lot of background that I know and I've been, and I'm thankful for that to the Lord, our God, and the Virgin Mary.
Yeah. It's one thing I think I talked about in the last podcast is that you read the paper every day. You're always watching the news and talking to people, and you're always finding a way to gain information, and you're always listening and paying attention to things. And that's kind of one of the most important things that's going to get you through life, is just paying attention. My dad always used to say it costs nothing to pay attention. You just show up and focus on whatever's going on in front of you, whatever you're doing. And and that's what I'm trying to actually, teach too to our like cousins like JoJo and Gibby, because they're in school right now, and I'm trying to teach them that focus on school, and sports becomes a privilege for you. It's not the other way around. You don't just play sports and that's your life. You still gotta go to school. You gotta be a student athlete, and yeah, that that sports part becomes a privilege when you do the things that you have to do, because in life you're gonna have to learn how to do certain things that you don't want to do. You're gonna have to deal with certain obstacles and difficult problems. Problems will arise, and you may not have the answer, and you're gonna have to figure out the answer. And so you got to learn how to deal with kind of the adversity of failing. Being able to fail and come back the next day and try it again, and to try to learn, to try to understand, because learning is a process of like learning and realization. I always say where you learn something and then you'll realize it later. Like all these lessons I learned in my life, a lot of them I didn't realize until after my dad had passed, that now it's like, oh, now I understand why he did this, or why he told me this, or the things that he taught me and stuff. It all clicks in that moment. But it was something that like I just didn't learn, just a couple weeks ago. It was something that I had learned throughout my lifetime, but I finally realized it. And so yeah, so each day just try to soak in more information, try to learn some more. And yeah, what have you learned recently, like that you've been reading up in the paper, or what information that you've heard? What's some new information to you?
Well, I just read a lot of it, but I just keep it to myself more or less, because I'm still going ahead trying to get more of it and find a better way. So, but I'm happy the way I am, really, because I done it, and I'm still looking forward to keep on doing something else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's an interesting thing too, because we've been through so much, and we're still trying to go forward. I mean, here at the house every day, you're still reading the paper, and you're watching the news and stuff. And then we got my grandpa Ted here too, and you guys hang out together. He reads his little Bible in there and his prayer book, and then he watches a lot of TV and stuff. But you guys also spend a lot of time hanging out in the garage, where you guys just hang out there. You play the music for Grandpa, and Grandpa's listening along to the music, and then he goes out and rides a scooter for a little bit and stuff. So tell us a little bit about that, like what when you hang out there with Grandpa.
Well, we both still handicapped, but we still try to do the best we can, and keep on going. Don't even look back.
Uh-huh.
Just go forward.
Yeah, that's one thing that's hard too, because both of you guys, you lost your wives, and so you're both, widowers, and it's hard because a lot of at those times it seems like a lot of hope is lost, because I see it with my Nino, when he lost my Nina, he's you could tell that a part of him is missing, and that part of him it's hard for him to keep going on and stuff, but you guys are a great example of showing how to keep going, and that the good thing too is we have our faith, we trust in the Lord that he has a plan for everything, and that wherever our loved ones are, that they are safe, and he's taking care of them, and that when our time comes, we're gonna see him again and stuff. So there's that kind of, I don't know if you call it peace, but something that's comforting about it, knowing that it's not the end. There's eternal life after this, and that we're gonna keep going and stuff. But yeah, it's just it's sad because you guys, like you said, you're handicapped, but you're not limited to the thing. I mean, you are limited to the things that you do, but you still, the one thing you can control is your state of mind, and how you look at each day, and getting up each day and every morning, and finding something new to look forward to, and now you're coming up on 91 years this year. You're gonna be 91 years old. So you excited about that? 91 years?
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to keep on going, because my family comes from we're 16 in the family, and more than half already, but I'm still here and hopeful, and I think the best thing to do is get together, and I'm gifted. I got sixth sense in my brain, so I didn't know what it meant, but it's supposed to be spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of time I can more or less predict things that's happening.
Yeah. You kind of got that like luck on your side. I think that's where I get my luck from. We're lucky people, you know. Call you Lucky Leo.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, one interesting thing I want to bring up is we got this little thing from last year when you turned 90. You know, it's pretty much just a whole bunch of things that happened back in 1929, the year that you were born. And I saw some interesting things on this the other day that stood out to me. Famous people that were born in 1929. Martin Luther King Jr. was born the same year that you were born, which is kind of crazy to think because it seems like, I don't know, it seems like he lived in a completely different era. But that was a time where you were the same age as Martin Luther King Jr. So, I mean, he died at like 40 something in the 60s or whatever. And it seems like forever ago. But really it's not that long. And then something even crazier than that too is you were born the same year as Anne Frank, the little Jewish girl from the Holocaust that had the diary and everything. Yeah, she died in the Holocaust, which was like in the 1940s. And she was only like, I think 16 at the time or something like that, you know. But it seems like, you know, like I said, it seems like it's so far away from like our lifetime and stuff. But yet you were there to like live through all that. I mean, you know, when you were a kid at the time, but yeah, the Holocaust, World War II and all that stuff was going on, you know, at the time. And yeah, and there's crazy things. I mean, events that happened in 1929, you had the Wall Street crash in 1929, which led to the Great Depression.
Yeah, right.
You know, you guys had the Great Depression. You guys had some cool things though too. You got the first car radio was invented in 1929.
Right.
And Lord knows you used the car radio.
We used to drive the Model Ts, Model A's, and all that.
Yeah. But radio is one of your favorite things. So, you know, putting a radio in the car was one of the greatest inventions I think that anybody's ever done. You know, I know myself, I sing in the car every time I'm driving. I'm doing carpool karaoke and stuff.
That's right.
So, I mean, music moves people, man, whether you're working out, whether you're just sitting around, whether you're driving. Music is the thing that motivates and moves people, you know.
Right.
What else happened in 1929? The Oscar Academy Awards started in 1929, so that means we're coming up on almost 100 years. We're getting to the 91th year of the Oscars. See what else is there. Oh, the presidents that year were Calvin Coolidge and Herbert Hoover. Remember, we had two presidents because it was election year that year.
Right.
Yeah. So, you know, you had actually Calvin Coolidge, I think was before, and then Herbert Hoover. I don't know. I can't really remember.
They were great presidents.
Yeah. You know, back when we still had good presidents around. Decent people in this world. Oh, dang, that's crazy. The world population back then was only 2 billion. I mean, that seems like a lot, but I think we're at like 6 billion or 7 billion people in this world right now. And I don't know. I think we're kind of overpopulated right now. I think we got a little bit too much.
Well,
I think we had that generation of the baby boomers where a lot of people came.
Yeah,
and,
right.
And now we just there's too many people in the world, man. We're all cluttered in different places, man.
We just try to weave into it, you know. So.
Yeah, but I feel like there's a lot of problems, you know, because we have a lot of like homeless, you know, a lot of homeless people on the streets, a lot of people who don't, you know, have proper housing, and a lot of it too is mental health problems, you know.
Right.
We have a lot of people who are just not right in the mind, and they rather live on the streets than to, you know, feel like they're trapped in some sort of apartment or, you know, society, you know.
Right.
I don't know. There's something free though about being like sleeping like that, because you know when you go camping, you know, it feels free to be sleeping outside, and you know, and it's weird because it's like you have a house. Why would you go somewhere and go sleep in a tent? You know.
Yeah. Right.
But it's something that like you feel like you're one with nature and you're really connected. So that's one thing, like homeless people I always think are like heartbeats of a city, you know. They know the streets, the ins and outs, you know, pretty much better than anybody, as far as how to navigate and survive, you know, because it's more than just trying to get from point A to point B. When you live as a homeless person, you're trying to survive each day, you know. How am I gonna eat? How am I gonna, you know, find somewhere to sleep, you know, stay warm for some people. I mean,
That's right.
you know, parts of the country, it gets really cold, you know. like when I was in New Orleans a couple years ago, I met this guy named Scooby, and he was living on the street. And I gotta say, it gets pretty cold at night in New Orleans.
Sure.
You know, out in California, I mean, you could sleep through the night, no problem, no t-shirt on and be fine. But yeah, some of these other places are like Chicago. You know, I've been to Chicago before. It's real windy, real cold. Couldn't imagine being homeless there.
Oh, yeah.
But another thing too is, yeah, we have a lot of homeless like vets, you know, veterans, a lot of veterans who served in the military who are homeless now and stuff. But one thing is, you know, you've always been the type of person to keep working and to always do something and to like never, you know, even when you were down and out, you know, you always kept working to do something and stuff. How do you like keep doing that? Like, where do you?
Well, you guys have to move your body and do something with it, you know, because that's your life. You gotta just keep on trucking.
Yeah, I think that's very important because at times too, I feel like I sit around and I let myself think too much, and I think you gotta just get the body up and moving, you know, move around and get the body, you know, blood flowing and everything, and then think about things as you're doing things. And sometimes too, I feel like it's a lot harder to just sit down and think of something. It's a lot easier to go and, like, you know,
get it done.
Yeah, go do something, but let what you're thinking about, you know, filter through your head as you're doing something.
Yeah, right.
Because then you're thinking about, okay, how can I do this a better way? How can I, you know, be more efficient at what I'm doing?
Yeah.
You know, because yeah, if you just do things and you don't think about it as you're doing it, you know, you could be wasting a lot of time or just running around circles doing the same thing. Yeah. So learning to be productive and stuff, and you've always been productive throughout your lifetime. You know, you always invented things. You're always creating little things, or in the garage, you're always you know, doing little things in there to decorate it, to make it more lively in there and stuff.
Right, and then I got all my family right there with me surrounding me. So.
Yeah, Grandpa's got his little pictures of everybody, his little ofrenda right there.
And a few beers hidden somewhere.
Got a couple beers tucked away. Yeah, that's one of the things too is my grandpa, you know, my grandpa Leo, he still drinks his Budweiser and he likes to hang out and stuff. But we had to cut my grandpa Ted back on his beer drinking because he has seizures and stuff. And for a while we were getting him some of that O'Doul's, you know, non-alcoholic beer, but even that, you know, he started pounding those and it's like, whoa, Grandpa, slow down. But yeah, that's one thing is you guys still like to hang out and party, you know.
Right, and keep on going.
Yeah, because even last year at Auntie Margie's retirement party, you guys got all fucked up that day.
Oh yeah. In the name of the game, we work all year for it.
Yeah, you guys went there at brunch and you guys were having mimosas. You were drinking champagne and orange juice.
Anything that come across the table.
And then beers. Yeah, start drinking ultralights, Budweisers, freaking Heinekens, whatever, shots of tequila, whatever.
We ran out of names. Hey, just bring me a good drink.
Yeah, you make it stiff. But yeah, and even at my Nina's reception and stuff, you guys were having a couple beers there and stuff. You know, you guys kind of kept it a little bit cooler, you know, because obviously the occasion, you know, you don't get too crazy. But yeah, I don't know, something about just having a beer, kicking back and enjoying.
Yeah,
you know,
having a good time and talking to everybody that you meet and a lot of my relatives, of course, and that's the main thing. They know who you are, and hey, here he comes again.
Yep, that's true. Yeah, that's one thing about you is, man, everybody always asks, like, where's Grandpa Leo? How's Grandpa Leo doing? You know, I mean, shoot, everybody from the podcast has been asking me, when you gonna do another Grandpa Leo podcast? When you gonna have Grandpa Leo on there?
He just went by to go to the liquor store.
Yeah.
No, the main thing is to be happy and of course guide your family the best you can, you know. Mm-hmm. That's the main thing that we have to do. We created them, you know, the kids and all that. So, hey, there's a responsibility.
Yeah. And that's why I try to take the time to, you know, spend time with you and my grandpa and be here as much as I can. You know, at the same time, too, I still got to go out and, you know, continue to work and live my life and do the things that, you know, motivate me and keep me going because, yeah, lately a lot of there's been a lot of like depression and stuff, feeling like
Right.
just laying around and not doing anything, and like you said, you just gotta keep moving,
And make some money on the side. That's the main thing. Keep on going.
Yeah, that was one thing too, is I was always at a point where I was just making money to, as long as I could eat today and eat tomorrow and have a place to sleep, like I'm good. Never really thought about like the future farther than like a week ahead, or the next paycheck. But now I start to look at life and like, what am I going to do each day to get me to the next day so that I
right.
could continue gaining momentum and going,
Mm-hmm.
because yeah, there's been times in my life where I just, take off and start doing all these things and just go. And then I hit those depressive times where I just stop and I sit around and I let things, and the thing about that is the world doesn't stop turning, like
That's right.
every day there's somebody out there doing something
Right.
and getting better or getting smarter or learning something or creating something.
Making more money.
Yeah, I'm making more money. There's always somebody out there
Yeah.
hustling harder
Right.
than you are and stuff.
Right.
And so yeah, I try to be productive in the things that I do. And that's what's cool about doing this podcast here is like right now, we're spending quality time together, but at the same time too, I'm also kind of doing work right now. I'm creating content
Right.
that I can put up on my channel so people can watch, and kind of like a little win-win right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, the main thing about this is that to show people that like, well, first of all, how cool Grandpa Leo is. I mean, people already know that.
We're still together.
But yeah, but like this is what we do, we just and we just take it day by day, and some days are good days, some days are bad days, some days are days where you're just kind of dragging your ass through it. But at the end of the day, we thank God that we had another day and that we get to be here, because there's so many of us. Now I'm starting to understand that for everybody tomorrow isn't promised. We've lost a lot of people close to us, and one of the hard ones is cancer. We lost several people to different forms of cancer.
Right.
And it's crazy how it comes on, and just you see this person who is so full of life and living each day, and then slowly deteriorate.
After a while, you don't see him no more.
Yeah, and after a while, yeah, they become a different, just even person physically and stuff, and and they're still trying to fight each day, just to get up and to get to chemo or to go through whatever the radiation or whatever they got to go through.
Don't even look back. Keep on going forward.
Yeah. And that's another hard thing too, is it's like I couldn't even imagine something like that, being in a situation where you have limited time, or because all that does is make you think. You start thinking about your life and all this other stuff instead of doing what you should do, and just we should always keep looking forward.
Right. Again.
Live life like if we have another day, or if we got more days, and just but also not take a day for granted, like appreciate each day as it comes.
Right.
But yeah, because if you start, because I did that too at times, where I've stopped and I look back and I try to reflect everything, and then days just pass me by, and
Yeah.
I'm going backwards instead of moving forward.
That's right.
But yeah, every now and then it's good to to look back into the past, or to remember things.
Where you're coming from.
Yeah, remember where you're coming from and stuff. And that's actually one good thing is when we went to Bullhead, we picked up your VCR, and I found some home videos that we had. And so the other day I was watching some videos. We have like my mom and dad's wedding video from when they went to Vegas. They flew to Vegas and got married. And then I found some videos of like Thanksgiving, at our house out there in La Habra. And then when I went to my Nino's house, he had his camera, and he had some videos from like birthday parties and Christmases and all the events that we used to have at his house over there.
Right.
And yeah, you look back at those things, and you just there's a part of you that like feels sad, because a lot of the people in those videos are gone. My Nino's not here no more, my dad's not here.
Yeah. Right.
Even my grandma Bertha was, and Grandma Loopy. We see all these people in the videos. And I look at it and it makes me sad for a moment, but then I think about like how we live such a full life. Like we always had good times,
And
you know.
come this far, so far. And
Yeah,
keep
yeah.
on going.
You know, it's like we never at those times stopped and looked back and stuff. It was always just moving forward.
Yeah.
Next good time. Um, and that's what we got to, you know, kind of keep looking forward to is the next time we, you know, hang out with family and stuff like that. You know, every time I see my cousins or I see, you know, extended family and stuff like that, like I appreciate it and I give them a big hug because, you know, it's weird, like with family, like my family at least, like we're connected and stuff. We stay connected through, you know, things like social media, through like Facebook and, you know, the telephone. I mean, shoot, you got your phone and you call people. You know, Grandpa Leo's on the phone all day. He's calling people here and there. People call him to check up on him and stuff. And it's just communication, you know. Hey, how you doing? You know, how's the family doing? Everybody doing good?
Yeah,
you know?
right. Uh-huh.
One of the things you always say is how are you doing on that end?
Yeah, right.
You know, how are you hanging over there on that branch?
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, being able to keep in contact with our family and stuff, that's very important to us. And then when we do get to see them, you know, it feels like there hasn't been any time in between, you know, that we haven't seen them because it's like we keep up with each other. It's like, hey, you know, we know what's going on and stuff.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's a good way to go.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, like I said, you know, we're just very family oriented in the things that we do. And looking back to, you know, like I said, when I reflect on certain things, you know, like my dad and my grandma and the lives that they lived and stuff, and the one constant or the one, you know, thing that I could think about is like the motivator of what they did and why they did things is family. You know, they always did everything for their family and for, you know, to make sure that, you know, that everybody was happy. You know, it wasn't just a selfless thing. They made sure that they were happy and they were happy making us happy. You know, like, like that's
the main thing.
Yeah. That's why you guys were always, you know, like I always say I'm blessed. I had, you know, the greatest grandparents. You know, I had you and Grandma Loopy, who, you know, watched us a lot and took us to the park and did all this stuff. And then, you know, I had my Grandpa Ted and my Grandma Bertha, who I was always over at their house and doing stuff and having all my aunts and uncles and everything like that. Like we always had a full family, you know. There was never like a dysfunctional family or like, you know, we were always together, always doing stuff. We
invite them or whatever for whatever occasion, especially when they die. That's the main thing. Yeah,
that's another thing too. Is, you know, one thing I had never understood as a kid was, you know, when my dad would always take us to these funerals and stuff, you know, like somebody would pass away in Mexico and we'd go down to a funeral or we'd go here or go there, and I'd always be like, who is this person? Like, I don't even know who this person is. And my dad would say, you know, oh, this was your tia, this person, or your tío, or, you know, my uncle, or this and that. And when I was there, you know, it's like I see a lot of the family, you know, same family members that we have and stuff. And so I realized like, oh, we're all affected by this person. We're all brought here by this person. Even though I didn't know him personally, this person had an impact in my life, you know. And to now, you know, when my dad passed and we had people come out and stuff and pay their respects and everything like that, you see truly like what an impact like that.
How much they love you guys.
Yeah, that somebody has on a life, you know. Even like the littlest things, you know, like some people like that didn't even fully know him, you know, even people that just knew me and my brother or knew my mom and stuff, you know, never even met my dad, but they know how happy we were as a family and knew like everything that we were and stuff, and that he was a main part of it and everything, you know.
Right.
So knowing how much like somebody means to somebody else, which is kind of like the same thing with the Kobe Bryant situation, you know. There's so many people who didn't know him personally, but were affected by the type of person that he was, you know. He was a very he was a hard worker, you know. He was a family man, you know, very, very about his family, very loving father. Always did things for other people, always took the time to, you know, show gratitude for his position that he was in, you know, never took anything for granted. Even when he was the best player in the world, he always worked hard, you know. He always worked as if he wasn't the best player. He never let that get to his head.
Always try to get ahead.
Yeah, you know, always try to get better. He was the type of person that was like always trying to, how can I be better than myself from the day before, just better like it's me versus myself each day, because that's one thing I'm starting to learn is the only thing holding us back in life is ourself, really. We put limitations on ourselves on what we can do.
Yeah.
But if we just tell ourselves that we can do it and we go out there and try it, I'm not going to say you're going to nail it on the first time, you're going to probably fail. More than likely you're going to fail, and you're probably going to fail again and again and again. But eventually if you're doing it right, you're going to learn from those failures.
That's why we're still here.
Yeah. And you're going to get it right. What they say, like Thomas Edison made like 1,000 different types of light bulbs before he made one that actually worked, and it's like, if he would have just stopped on the first design, we wouldn't have light right now. But he was like, nope. He's like,
we're in the dark.
Yeah. He's like, I'm going to get this right. It's not this one, it's not that one, it's not this one, but the answer is out there somewhere, and I'm gonna find it, and I'm gonna figure it out. And being persistent about certain things that you want in life, having a goal, having a dream, and chasing after it,
Martin Luther King, my dream.
Yeah. See, that was like one thing with you guys. You had the dream of like the family, always having a family, taking care of your family, providing for your family. I wish that I could say I have that dream. I don't even know what really dream I have. We live in a time, in a world where it's everything's moving so fast. People one day want to do this, the next day they want to do that, and I'm exactly that type of person. I wake up one day and I want to do this, and the next day I want to do that, and it's like, where am I going? What am I doing? But what I've found is the one thing that helps me to go forward and that motivates me the most to go forward is having that main constant of a family, like, as long as at the end of the day, whatever I'm doing is for my family or to better my family in some way, or to better myself for my family, become a better person to help my family. Right. I think that's, as long as I do that each day, I'm stepping in the right direction, regardless of if I make money or if I, do this, that, or whatever.
Just stick together.
Yeah. Where's my positive impact for other people, that have done so much for me in my life too, without any reciprocation or anything. I've had so many people in my life that have just unconditional love, just love you for who you are, what you do, no matter, right, wrong, indifferent, whatever, they're just full of love, and they always look for the good in you and stuff. Because I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm a saint. I've made plenty of mistakes in my life, but I've had the people that have been there to tell me, hey, Mido, you're fucking up right now, you're making a mistake, but you're not a bad person, you just got caught up in a bad situation, or you're just, every kid does it, we all do some young and dumb stuff, we all, get in a little trouble with the law here, or, do a little something, or even something at school, you get in trouble with a teacher, you do something, you push your limits, you test the limits. And I think that's important too, as a person, especially when you're young, do it while you're young, make mistakes, go out and find your limits, find who you are as a person. And sometimes too, I was I was rebellious. I was a very rebel person, even if I knew the right thing to do, I'd be like, I'm gonna do the opposite of that just to stir things up. But now I've learned how to go with the flow of things, just kind of.
You got gifted. You gifted.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, is I can't try to fight it too much, because the more I try to change the situation and stuff like that, or control the situation,
stay on the road.
Yeah, I fuck myself up, or I throw myself off course. Yeah, if I just keep riding the wave, and then just being aware of where I am in every situation, and pretty much like you, just pay attention anywhere I'm at, whether I'm on a football field, or whether I'm in an office somewhere, or whether I'm in a factory, or whatever I'm doing, pay attention. Doing the right thing. Yeah, figure out what's going on, and do your best job. And then after a while, I feel like it's those times where I feel like, okay, I've done enough of this, now I need to move on to the next thing, because I don't know, I like doing so many different things, and I want to do all this different stuff. I just don't want to do any of these things for the rest of my life, that's one thing that scares me, is doing one thing for the rest of my life instead of doing a whole bunch of other things, because I'd rather do this, that, and be all these. I don't want people to define me by one thing,
it's a lot of opportunities to get ahead.
Yeah.
If you follow 'em.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another thing too. Is I'm learning how to take each skill set that I learn, or when I learn something new, and how can I apply it to the next thing that I do in life. Which is something that, yeah, like Kobe Bryant did. He took from being an athlete and being just this guy with no education either. I mean, he came straight out of high school and went to the NBA, making millions of dollars. Could have easily blown it all, or did something stupid, but he figured out a way to be smart about it and to create something after basketball, to create something bigger than basketball. And I think that you should always have that goal of what's next, because
Right.
I mean, I only set goals for myself up until I was like 25. And then after 25, I've just kind of been floating around, like, just trying to, I guess, survive and hang on and,
Right.
whatever. But now it's like, okay, I gotta like start thinking, like, what am I gonna, what am I looking forward to next? What's my next, goal and stuff? Because one thing that worries me the most is, like, I don't want to look back, like 3 years from now and still be in the same position, or not have moved forward in any way. You always want to progress forward and to go somewhere, and not necessarily like go somewhere and move somewhere or something, but to have been different places, travel around, to experience different things, to meet new people. Because I think that's important. I think that's what made you kind of who you are, is all the people that you met in your life, because you met a lot of, you know a lot of people.
Oh yeah, I sure do.
Like everybody knows you, and that's only like the people that are still living. I mean, like, you've met so many people throughout your life that what are some of the like best things to have happened in your life?
Well, the best thing is that I'm still kicking, still alive, and looking to keep on going forward, and I'll be there in your wedding when you do get married.
Well, I don't know if you're gonna be waiting that long, but ain't gonna be anytime soon. So
Hey, you got to get more production, man.
yeah, I know, right? I need to get on that. Yeah, I think I was talking about that last podcast too, about how my dad and mom met at a wedding, and you and grandma met at a wedding, and that maybe I'll meet somebody at a wedding.
That's right.
So I just gotta keep going to weddings, I guess.
A big family is always welcome.
That's true, man. That's the thing about a wedding, man. You got two big families. You got the bride side, you got the groom side, and they're all coming together, and they're all joined together by this unity of love. You got friends meeting friends, family meeting family.
Let's go get plaster and vámonos.
Yeah.
No, but we all have responsibilities, which is great, because that teach you you need to keep on working and earn some money.
Yeah, I think that's an important thing that I'm starting to learn in my life. Like I said, with having that, as long as everything revolves around family, because if not, I find myself like, why am I doing the things that I do?
Lonely.
Yeah, you're searching for something else. It's like I'm spending my money to go here to fill that void of something else, when I know that whenever I just need to feel like myself, like Mido, I just go to these people who are my family, and they put me kind of back in that reality check of like, hey, like, they I don't know, they keep me level-headed and stuff, because I mean, they're the type of people to pump me up and hype me up whenever I need to be hyped up and stuff, and give me that confidence and that energy.
Right.
But they're also the type of person to
keep on going.
Yeah, because they'll push me to my limits, to what I want to be, but they'll also hold me to being humble and stuff. They won't let me get too far from like think that I'm great and all these other things and stuff like that. It's like they just remind me at the end of the day, I'm just Mido.
But you're great.
Yeah, but being Mido is pretty great.
So they're one of a kind, but still great. Stay happy.
Yep.
That's the best thing.
Yeah, they're not telling me I'm the greatest, but I'm pretty great.
When we're catching up with the real ones.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is great people learn from other great people.
Right. Right.
I've had some great leaders in my time, some great influences. And I think that's the biggest thing, influence. When it comes to like people who who you don't really know, or who you never really had too much interaction with, but who influence your life, you know. Like I said, my dad used to take us to all these different funerals and meet all these different people, and I'm like, who are these people? I don't know who they are, but they meant something to my dad, and they influenced him in some way. And that's kind of, you know, like something that Kobe Bryant did for me, you know. He influenced me to be, as a kid, you know, I always wanted to work hard like that and be that type of person. And then even later on in life, like, you know, now he turned into that person at being a family man and a father and all these things where it's like, you know, that's something to strive for, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And even one thing too is like, you know, being a dad who has to raise, you know, girls and stuff like that, because, you know, my dad, you know, growing up my whole life, it's just been me and my brother and stuff. So like my dad has shown how to raise boys and how boys are raised and stuff. But you know, you got to deal with people who, you know, who only have girls and stuff, like, you know, like somebody like my Nino, you know, he's now left with just my 3 cousins who, you know, are all girls. And yeah, you know, it's a whole different, it's a different ball game when you're dealing with being a dad of a couple little princesses, you know.
They got more boys in there too.
Yeah, well, now they got more boys with all the kids that they got down there. But yeah, you know, being able to influence somebody else's life, you know, is really like the most important thing. Or like one of Kobe Bryant's quote was, the most important thing in life is to inspire somebody to be like great, or to be
like a model.
Yeah, to be the greatest version of themselves and stuff. And I think, you know, you can sit here and you could talk to people all day and tell them like this and that. Yeah. But the best thing you could do for somebody is show them, you know, be the example of live your life the way, you know, you want people to live their life, you know, be happy, you know, enjoy what you do. You know,
that's right.
Understand that bad times are only momentary, and don't let it bring you down so much, you know, that right around the corner there's another good time and another good thing coming.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know, I think that's the main thing, the hope for the future, you know. And for a while, you know, I'm not gonna lie, I lost a little bit of hope, and I'm sure everybody's been there at some point.
Make it easier in life as far as money wise, you know.
Yeah, well, that's the thing too, is, you know, everybody always thinks that money is gonna solve problems, or once I get money, it's
no, but I have a family.
Yeah. I mean, that's a peace of mind, be able to take care of other people and stuff, to take care of your family. Yeah, of course, it's definitely important, and that's something that makes you feel good and stuff. But yeah, I feel like, you know, as long as it's all for family, and family is like the main thing behind it, then it's all good. But yeah, I feel like a lot of people get caught up in, you know, in the money and all these other things and external things that they think are gonna help them. You know, let me go buy a new car, or let me have a big house, and then I'll be happy.
Then you have a full house.
Yeah. Then you have a full house of people you don't even want living with you. Yeah, that's the real tip. If you're ever rich and you don't want people around you, just get a small little condo, put your stuff in the bank, all right?
Yeah.
Once you buy the big old fancy house, everybody's like, oh yo,
man, look what he was waiting for.
Yeah. Oh, you got an extra room up in here? Hey, what's up with that couch right there? Is that couch pull out into a bed? Anybody sleeping there? It's like, shit, you know.
Oh, yeah, you can sleep on the porch.
Yeah. But that's another good thing too, is, you know, like coming from that big family, you know, I've always had, that's one thing I've always told people is like, I'll never go homeless. Like if I'm sleeping on the street or I'm sleeping outside somewhere, it's because I've chose to, like, and there's probably something mentally wrong with me at that point. But yeah, I have so many different places where I just like pick up my phone, I call somebody and be like, hey, can I come over and crash for a night? And yeah, dude, come on over. Like, got a bed, got a freaking couch or something, you know, shit, air mattress on the floor, whatever. But yeah, I've gone so many different places, and people, and another thing too that gets me to those places, I'm not gonna, you know, one, I've been blessed with everything in life, but I've been blessed to have people that have taught me like manners and respect. You know, one of the biggest things that's carried me so far in life is please, thank you. Showing respect to people when you walk into somebody's house, you know, don't just act like it's your house, you know, show some respect. But then also, you know, when people tell you to feel at home, shit, you know, I kick back on the couch and I crack open a beer, you know, make myself at home.
Make yourself at home.
Yeah, if somebody tells me make yourself at home, don't be mad if you see me eating a bowl of spaghetti on the couch. Right?
Sleep on the floor.
Yeah.
But that's great. I mean, it's good to have a relative like that. I think they give you a hand or whatever you need a hand. And you're there for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And yeah, sometimes that's what I need. Just somebody to just like and not even like say anything or do anything, but just be there for me when I need somebody.
Keep company.
Yeah. Sometimes too, just company. Sometimes that's one thing that's good about having big family. Is I've always had my brother. My brother's one of my best friends and stuff, even though we fight so much. But having my cousins too, because my cousins are like my brothers and sisters that I that I don't really have, and but they're our relationship's so close that it's like brother and sister.
They're out there in case you need a hand.
Yeah, and we can talk about anything. They can they can tell me about stuff. I can give them advice or my 2 cents about something, or just sometimes just listen. Sometimes people just need to vent about stuff.
Yeah, right.
And talk about it. I know I need to vent about things all the time. That's one great thing about this podcast, is that I can come on here and just talk about some things and let it out and also see where it goes too. Because sometimes I sit around, like I said, with those thoughts on your head, and when you just have thoughts in your head, they just keep floating around, and it doesn't make sense sometimes. But when you vocalize things and you talk about it,
right?
You're like, wait a minute, that sounds a little crazy. But then
things happen.
Yeah, but then sometimes you talk about something and you're like, hey, you know what? That doesn't sound so crazy after all. It sounds like you're on to something right there. Keep going with what you're saying.
They say, how come you're so quiet? Oh, you haven't heard the last of it.
Yeah, that's when people should worry. Honestly, is when I'm sitting around quiet and little gears are turning in my head. That's when it's all bad. You should be worrying.
Yeah.
As long as my mouth is moving, I'm fine. Because I'm figuring things out. I talk about things and I think about it as as I say something, I think about it and be like, dude, is that really what I want to say? Is that really how I want to say it? Or should I change it? Or what's going on in that moment? Because we're very like emotional people too. We're very reactive to things. We hear something and right away we have a reaction, or instead of taking that moment to like let it process, and then we're just we're very automated in that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, we learn a lot about ourselves throughout years of living and stuff. Like I was talking about earlier, the learning and realization. You've learned so many things in your life, but I'm sure each day you continually learn more things, or you realize more things in your life.
Sure.
Yeah. And
more opportunities like television, radio, music, or whatever.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Is things are constantly evolving. You see,
get your brain off of worrying too much.
Yeah, and that's one thing too. It's like my grandpa Leo, he's been through fucking all different formats of music, from the fucking vinyl record to the 8-track to the cassette to the CD, and shit, he's got his little iPod over there now. It's like you don't get stuck in I'm not gonna say that you don't get stuck, because you still got your cassettes and everything like that, but you're still able to find cassettes out there nowadays, and you still got your little tape player in there, and Grandpa Leo's making little mixtapes up in there, with the little record button and stuff. But you've also learned how to come into the technology age, and you know how to use your little iPod over there and stuff, and you know how to use your phone and everything like that. You know how to use the TV and all these things, so you stay learning new stuff, and I think that that's one of the main reasons that you've been successful and been able to live so long. You don't get stuck in like the place of
in the same groove.
Yeah, in the same groove, exactly. But and it's funny too, because even like something that you do get stuck in, like your taste in music, you still have the music from back in the day and all that stuff. But music is one of those things where it's like, even that music is still kicking today. Like that music is still good music. It like you think about it, like even me, like I don't think about that as old music, because shit, I was only born in 1992. Like to me, that's 90s music in my head. I'm like, fucking, I listen to that music in the 90s, but that's music that came from like before and stuff, and just being able to hear something like that, and in a way, it takes you back to that time, but also it's like that time's gone now, and we're here, and that music's still playing. I don't know. It's one of those things that music is gonna keep people alive. It's gonna outlive all of us and stuff.
Right.
And it's the one thing that keeps us going and stuff. It's like
Keep
you
the motor going.
yeah. When I see you and my grandpa Ted out there in the garage, and you guys got that music playing and stuff,
yeah.
he's tapping his foot, he's waving that finger. He's singing along. Go Rita, go Rita.
Bouncing from wall to wall.
Yeah, got the head waving, something like that. Then up, you stand up, doing a little twist and shout.
Yeah, as long as we got what we need, we're okay.
Yeah. But yeah, you guys always find a way to keep the party going, and that's I think that's the main thing from all this is just
Yeah.
Don't stop the party.
Get the pressure off your head.
Uh-huh.
If you got worries and all that, get them out of the head. We don't
Yep.
need those.
What's that song that they say? Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry,
Yeah.
be happy. Don't worry, be happy.
Give me the saxophone.
Don't worry.
There you go.
Be happy.
That's right.
But yeah, man, I think that's the most important thing. And I always tell people, laughter is like the best medicine of anything. I mean,
yes, it is.
That's one great thing that I feel like I can do to people is make them laugh. Like one of the greatest things I always look back at with my grandma, with my dad, and it's like I made them happy. Like I made them laugh and smile at times
Right.
when times were hard or when times, and that little smile was just something that, that they needed at that time. And even for like my Nina, when she was going through all her cancer stuff and, she knew that it wasn't going to be long, and we knew that it wasn't going to be long and stuff. I would still, find little things to say or do that, can make her smile. And,
Right.
and it wasn't like I was doing anything. I was just being myself, I was just normally how I act and stuff. And that's one thing that, it's like I feel like for a little temporary moment, you can make them forget about what's going on and
Right.
they can just laugh and be in that moment with you.
Yeah, right. They remember you for the rest of their life.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I think that's one of the things that's made us, the type of people that we are. We have that impact on people where we meet them and they don't forget who we are. They'll remember Grandpa Leo. They'll remember Mido. Best believe it.
You got some beer over there. Come on, let's go.
Yeah. And they always know where the party's at. So wherever the party's at, wherever the beer is, that's where we'll be and stuff. So, but yeah, you've been through a lot, and we've all been here to enjoy the fruits of your labor and stuff. Part of the reason that we're all here is because of you and Grandma and, of course, my other side of the family and everybody else who's been involved. But, without you guys bringing certain people into our lives, we wouldn't have this family,
Right.
Because even now that my dad's gone, I know so many people who are not really family, like we're not blood related, we're not connected in any way, but I consider them family because of the connections that my parents had with these people and stuff.
Right.
They're closer to me, to like as close to me as anybody else in this world. And like I said, I can call anybody at any time and be like, hey, I need this, I need that, or I just need a place to sleep, or I just need to talk for a little bit. Whatever. Everybody's always here for me. Whatever I need, whenever I need, and that's something I greatly appreciate. Having that means more to me than money or anything in the world. And it also forces me too to remember to keep those relationships.
Yeah, right, right.
To call them, check
Always.
on them, because just like they're caring about me and checking in on me, it's like I need to do that as well with them. Because that's something that you always do, that my dad always did, that my grandma always did, and that's what
that's why we're still here.
Yeah,
Some of us, anyway.
Yeah, and even to this day, I still got people, my grandma's friends, that hit me up on Facebook and stuff, and how you doing? How's Ted doing? Things like that.
Right.
I got my dad's friends who hit me up. Hey, mijo, how you doing? How's your mom doing? How's your brother doing? And they're just checking in and they want to know how we're doing and stuff, and when I get a chance, I always ask them how they're doing, and I'll try to check in on people. I know I get very caught up in my life sometimes, and I forget to do that. It's not until somebody hits me up or like I come across something on
Yeah,
Facebook
right.
or whatever that I think about it. But but yeah, I like keeping in communication with people and stuff, and I like, you know, hearing about people doing well, even if I don't talk to them. You know, that's what I love about social media and Facebook and stuff, is you can see somebody living their life and doing good and be happy for them, and you don't have to interact with them or influence them in any way. Just let them, you know, and just enjoy it. I mean, just hit that like button, just, you
Right.
know, throw a comment here or there, but yeah, in a way we can just still stay plugged in to certain people's lives and stuff. And that's what's cool about this podcast too, is like people who don't have the chance to sit down with you every day or sit down with me every day, they got like this little moment of time where they can pop into our conversation, our world, really. I mean, you know, shit, you're all sitting on the couch hanging out with us right now. But yeah, you know, I enjoy, you know, everything that I do when I do this and stuff, and I'm glad you enjoy, you know,
Yeah,
doing
sure.
this too. And everybody, you know, who's watching enjoys this. I mean, everybody's been asking for Grandpa Leo and stuff. What what's something you wanna tell like the viewers and people and everybody who sees you on the Mido show and stuff?
Well, it's just like a street. Just keep going ahead. Keep follow the rules, and you get there. And like I said, I'm gifted because I was a twin, and they thought I was gonna die, and my twin sister was gonna live, but it turned out the opposite. They cut her navel too short, and that's why she died. The midwives, you know. And I survived, so here I am,
Yeah.
still kicking.
Lucky Leo. And not just that too, man. You've been through so much different stuff. I mean, shoot, you've had like your gallbladder removed. You've broken your leg. You've freaking been to war. You've all these different things, and every little setback, you keep coming back stronger.
Yeah, I have about 10 different surgeries in my body.
Yeah, you had a lot. You had a lot of stuff going on with you and stuff. But yeah, you're still alive and still kicking and stuff.
Yeah.
And we're grateful for that, and every day that we get from here on out and stuff. And you know, we'll wrap this podcast up right now in a little bit, but we'll do this again, you know, and do another podcast, because I enjoy talking to you. I enjoy hanging. I mean, this is pretty much what people don't understand, is this is what we pretty much do throughout the day anyways.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're sitting here and just enjoying our lives, and now
That's
you guys
right.
get to peer inside and see a little bit of it. But yeah, I think we got enough right now. I just want to say one more time, rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. You know, got the Bryant jersey on right now. I'm rocking it backwards too, because I don't know, I guess that's the thing that people do these days, wear the jersey backwards. I don't know, it's kind of cool, you know, put the last name on the front. But a little homage to him right there. One of my greatest memories of this jersey and of the Lakers and Kobe Bryant and stuff is, I remember like my picture over there from my graduation and stuff. On my graduation day, it was actually Game 6 of the 2010 NBA Finals, and you know, the game was coming on like around 5 o'clock or something like that. My graduation was somewhere around like 4:30, something like that. And I was trying to, like, you know, get through the graduation, get my diploma, get home so I could watch the end of the, you know, finish watching the game and stuff. And so as we're at graduation and stuff, I got my Kobe jersey underneath my gown and everything. And me and my friends, we got our phones and we're like, you know, keeping up with the game during the ceremony and stuff. And you know, I didn't even know if I was going to graduate really, because my grades were so, you know, on the fence at that point and stuff. But they called me up. I got my diploma and everything like that. One of the happiest moments of my life, because I accomplished something that I didn't really think I would accomplish. Right. And first thing I did when I grabbed that diploma is I ripped open my gown and I just threw open that Laker jersey, number 8, so everybody could see. And yeah, you know, got my diploma, and we hung out, took pictures and all that stuff. And I told my parents, I was like, hey, like, I want to get back home right away. So we came home, and I remember we turned on the game, and it was like the fourth quarter of the game. And the Lakers were coming back, and they finally beat the Celtics and tied up the series to 3-3. And 2 days after that, they had the Game 7, and it was the day before my graduation party. and they had Game 7, and that's when they won the championship that year. And after that, that's when I went and got this jersey because I had the Kobe number 8 jersey, but then after they won it and he had his number as 24, I was like, I need to go get the 24 jersey. So I went out and with my graduation money, I bought myself this jersey, and I wore this jersey like almost every Laker game that I watched from that point out. And then I wore this jersey the last time on Kobe Bryant's final game back in 2016 or whenever it was. And I watched his last game, and he put up 60 points in that game. And then after that, I hung this jersey up, and I hadn't touched it since. And then last week when we found out that he passed away, I brought it out and hung it up over there next to my dad's jersey. And then when they aired his game again, the final game when we watched that, I put the jersey back on one last time and watched it. And then when the Lakers did their tribute to Kobe and they had their game against the Trailblazers, I put the jersey back on again one more time. And unfortunately, we lost that game. But after that, I told myself, I'm just going to hang this up. May even get this jersey framed at some point. But right now, when we did this podcast, I was like, you know what? I'm going to throw the jersey on one last time, rock it, and wear it proudly because, after this, I'll probably end up getting it framed and just put up on the wall somewhere. And it'll be just another memory in the book of memories, and we'll continue going on with life and living. And, got a long road ahead of us still, For some people, the road's already ended, but for us, we're still going. Got our foot on the gas, and we ain't stopping anytime soon. So stay tuned for the next episode. I will have Grandpa Leo back again at some point. I'm gonna try to get some other people on the podcast in between then and stuff, but we'll see how scheduling allows that, because my schedule's all over the place and people's schedule. It's always hard trying to find that time in the universe when everything just works right. But today we got one in, and I was glad we were able to do it. And Grandpa Leo, you want to say anything real quick before we leave, before we sign out?
Stand up.
Stand up. What does General MacArthur always say?
I shall return.
I shall return. So stay tuned for Grandpa Leo, because he will be back. All right. You guys take care. Have a good night, and we will see you later. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, it's the Mido Show.